Hey, good morning, y'all. What's happening? Once again, it's your friend, your twin, getting it in with the thick skin, your man in 100 grand, your mama's favorite side piece, and your sister's boyfriend, it's your man, Doc G. And I just want to speak on another topic today. Another topic. Um, the older I get, and the more I see what's going on out here in the world and how people are, the more disappointed and let down I am in how people are in general. Gone are the days of proper decorum, decency, common sense, class, empathy. Those days are basically at an end right now. You look around, I think we can all agree on that. Just as a lot of brothers out here, a lot of men out here try to find their better half. They go out here and they try to find their rib, the Eve to their Adam, the the jelly to their peanut butter, so to speak. And it's like when you're a man and you go out here and you search, for your person. It all begins with what a woman looks like, if you're attracted to her and all of that stuff, right? So you hope that when you walk up and approach, said beautiful woman, that she will have a spirit and a soul to match her physical being. If her spirit is as beautiful as her physical is, which to me at this point in my life, your spirit and the way that you speak and the way that you act mean a lot more to me than what you look like physically. Because we live in a world now, we live in a society now where basically the more physically beautiful a woman is, the more devious and the more evil she is, the more manipulative she is. And I hate to say that because I don't like doing this men versus woman bullshit. I don't do that, man. I'm too old for that, man. And it's crazy because it's crazy. I'm just disappointed because it's been a couple times in life where a brother would approach a physically beautiful woman and she'd be beautiful until she opens her mouth and speaks. The woman would be absolutely beautiful until she opens her mouth and speaks. And then, unfortunately for us, we live in the days of social media and everybody having an overinflated opinion and group speak and being easily manipulated by the masses due to podcasts and all that bullshit and talking points that are cliche and people trying to control each other in relationships, talking about the person who cares less has the most power and and manipulating men and well, you got to get this much money out of him and you got to be this and you got to be that and you got to be ruthless towards a man and da da da. um Let me give y'all the example of that shit. Cardi B, for example. Recently she was on a live stream talking to, I mean, now keep in mind, a lot of people think that Cardi B is physically beautiful, right? Now, You look at Cardi B. She's beautiful to some people, not to me so much. She's beautiful until she opens her mouth and speaks. And then when she opens her mouth and speaks, she shows how classless she is. She shows how ghetto she is. She shows how illiterate she is. Like she was on a podcast recently, talked about, yeah, so what? I drugged and robbed men. I hate men. Yeah, I do that shit again. And a lot of girls agree with her, and they like, yeah, girl, fuck these men, da da da. A woman will be beautiful until she opens her mouth and speaks. Another example, Meg the Stallion. Meg the Stallion, another ratchet female rapper who will be physically beautiful, until she opens her mouth and speaks and says, girl, you shouldn't be paying nothing for no man, girl, you gotta take a nigga for everything he got, girl. Physically beautiful until she opens her mouth and speaks. Physically beautiful. Like some guys think that Kim Kardashian is physically beautiful until she opens her mouth and speaks and shows how much of an idiot she really is, how self-absorbed she really is, until she opens her mouth and speaks and shows how much of a loose whore she is when she speaks. I don't think ladies understand the power of a virtuous woman with wise words. Think of your grandmothers, man. Your grandmothers who speak wisdom and have knowledge and are virtuous women and are loving and kind and wise and caring and like just think of those type of women, man. Long gone are the days of those type of ladies. It's like they're so crass now. I mean, so crass. I'm a sailor and they curse more than a sailor. Y'all see how much I curse? I mean, and even still, that's from time to time. But the way that women speak nowadays, man, I can't even fully invest my heart in this type of woman. I can't fully invest anything in a woman like that, in a woman that speaks and acts like that, which is the status quo, unfortunately, because apparently that's what being strong is for a woman nowadays. It's being loud, obnoxious, crass, rude, classless, ran through and proud about it. Ladies like Amber Rose, one of the biggest whores, on the western side of the hemisphere. Like one of the biggest whores in history, who's physically beautiful, once again, until she opens her mouth and speaks. The Bible vehemently speaks about these types of females. There's multiple stories in the Bible about these types of females. Jezebel, the story of Jezebel. Jezebel, a woman who was physically beautiful, but used her looks to manipulate kings, was a whore, gave it up to everybody. The Bible speaks of women like this. and how women like that can bring down kings. I don't think y'all heard me. How women like that can bring down kings. Y'all need to read Proverbs 26:7. You know, like the flesh and like the flesh. I'm sorry. I'm not good at preaching. Like an arrow in the thigh of the flesh, so are the words in the mouth of a fool. And there's another part of the Bible that says it's better to live in the desert, dying of thirst, than to be in the same household as a loud and quarrelsome woman. I mean, but let's just keep it 100. A lot of the ladies today really don't care about God, and it's very, very obvious. You know, for a virtuous woman, a man worth his salt will move mountains for that type of woman. If a woman who speaks wisdom and doesn't act on her impulses and is embraced in her femininity, a man worth his salt would move mountains for that type of woman. But it's not many of those left now. Because the ones that are physically beautiful, what do they go out here and do? What do they go out here and do? They don't do any type of mental and spiritual development to make themselves better in that regard. What do? They capitalize off their physical beauty by displaying their most precious commodity, their body, their womb, by exposing that to the public via OnlyFans, via seekingarrangements.com, via whatever, man, just basically selling it to the highest bidder because they're physically beautiful. It's very rare that you see a physically beautiful woman that has an equally beautiful spirit to match. And those that you do see that have both, they get snatched up really quick. They get married very quickly. You have a world where it's too many chiefs and not enough Indians. There's too many people out here with opinion, and uneducated opinion, and unthought of opinion. And they think it's cute. They think it's cute to manipulate men. They think it's cute to speak loudly and brazenly and without forethought to their words, not knowing how any of their words would affect someone else's life. It's not enough. It's not enough people in this world that are decent, man. And ladies, man, like women used to be the motivation for men to make better things, to make their lives easier. Women with virtue used to be the motivation for men to build societies. Women of virtue used to be the motivation for men to build and make inventions to make her life easier, to make her child's life easier, their children's life easier. Because a woman of virtue used to be a muse for us men. And we would go out in the world and we would find a way to make a way, because in our minds we'd be thinking, I got this woman that believes in me. I can't let her down. I have to find a way for her, for us, for our family. Like, women of virtue used to be the battery pack in a man's back to make him better and to make him be all he can be, not just for himself, but for her and for society. Virtuous women used to spur that shit on in men, and now the way that women speak and how they act, and how it's just dog eat dog, and just take his money and do him dirty, and the way they speak and act, it's sad, man. It's sad. But I'm pretty sure a lot of y'all have come across these type of women before, because they're all over society. It's very rare that you see a woman with a kind, friendly, feminine demeanor. It's very rare here in the United States anyway. I just had to speak on that. Just had to speak on that. About to go to the gym. You know, doggone get right for the day. Just wanted to share my thoughts on that. So, nothing but love for y'all. Happy Friday and have a great year. It's your boy Doc out. Peace.